Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular council meeting. It's Wednesday, October the 11th, 2023. A good, especially welcome to everyone that is joining us virtually. And to those that have joined with us in person, we welcome you. I would remind all that the communication devices are to be shut off or put onto vibrate. I'd like to welcome a couple of our new staff members. Mr. Adam Sabansky is our new CAO. Miss Ella Flynn as our deputy clerk. Welcome you to your new positions. I have a couple of announcements. First of all, council at the last meeting had some concerns brought forth from the residents that have been watching us virtually. It seems that there was a little bit of sidebar conversations going on, and unfortunately, they were drowning out those that were speaking. So I'd ask council to please be mindful of that. And if you have to speak to the person beside you, I could tell my grandchildren, use your little voice, please. This week, as well as the Ontario Agricultural Week, the agricultural sector contributes over $48 billion to our GDP, and 1 in 10 jobs in Ontario is in the agricultural related industry. That's all I have for announcements. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Shinnebi. It is through the connection of the Shinnebi with the spirit of the land, the water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. Council, first on the agenda is the declaration of a pecuniary interest. I would ask you, if you feel you have one, to please declare it at the appropriate time. Clerk, we're going to go to item 4. Do we have any delegations tonight? Okay. So the first thing on the agenda, after that is our business arising from the previous meetings. We have a motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Councillor Wolvette, with the report by Adam Sabansky, Chief Administrative Officer, dated October the 5th, 2023, regarding the proposals for engineering services for the Confederation Line and Broadway Street intersection improvements update be received. That council endorses the installation of traffic lights in partnership with the County of Lambton, that the proposals from Blue Water Power Corporation and RC Spencer Associates Incorporated be accepted. Council, you've had a chance to review that report. Mr. Sabansky, the author, is here. Anything further to add on that, Mr. Sabansky?
No, Your Worship. We've gone through this topic through a couple different reports over the last 3 months. So we're just happy to announce that our traffic review has turned out that the lights are in fact warranted, and the County of Lambton's traffic engineer agreed with our second consultant's review of the situation. And therefore, as per their policies, have agreed to pay 50% of the cost to install the traffic lights at the intersection.
Okay, thank you. I also go for questions. Am I right, Councillor Bojan?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just have one question. When it comes to the motion that's on the floor and approving the project, is that under the assumption that the county will be approving the quote and approving 50% of that quote? Or have they already seen the quote and approved that they'll pay 50% of the installation?
Through the chair, if I may, the county has received a rough estimate of the work, and they do believe they have the capital funding to accommodate that work through existing budget lines next year. So of course, county budget always has to be endorsed ahead of time, but staff are comfortable recommending get the work to move forward.
Does that answer your question, Councillor Bojan?
Yeah, it does. I just want to make sure that county's on board 50%. Despite what, no matter what the quote says, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, good point.
That's everything then. Thank you.
Councillor Basie?
No, you got her. Thank
Councillor
you.
Rodriguez?
No, just happy to see it. So good work, everyone.
Deputy Mayor?
The engineering is included, right?
Yes, so the county has agreed to pay for any costs related to the installation of lights, which would include the engineering, the lights themselves, and any improvements to the intersection itself to accommodate the new lights.
Okay, Councilor Van Claver.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't necessarily have a question, more so a comment. It was mentioned to me that if the light is turning red, folks are gonna be scooting down and sliding across First Street, or that's certainly some folks have assumed that. I don't know if our CEO could respond to that.
Thank you. So in our initial planning for the traffic lights, we were planning to ensure that Broadway Street was the predominant street. The county of Lambton reiterated that by making that a requirement. So what that means is that a sensing system will have to be put into the asphalt. The asphalt will sense when there's cars sitting at Broadway Street. The lights will not be triggered until a car has sat in Broadway Street for a set amount of time as per the traffic manual, and then those lights will be triggered. So the through traffic on Broadway will have the predominant right of way, and the lights will only be activated when there are cars waiting on.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Councilor Wabet.
What are you installing as far as the pedestrian part of that stoplights go? Are they gonna have a button they can push to change them and that kind of thing?
Yes, through your worship, if I may. Yes, the traffic lights will be fully AODA compliant. So they would be exactly the same as what we have here, just for the whole intersection instead of a crossing.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Thank you. All those in favor? Here. Now, for one more thing under business arising from the previous meeting, the comments from the last meeting relating to the ice rink. If you have your questions, please ensure they go to Mr. Sabansky and copy all of council on them as well. So we're all on the same page. We all can see what we're asking. So there's no duplications. And all those will be shared with everybody. So just a short reminder on that. Okay, next is the item 6.1, adoption of the main meeting minutes. A motion by Councillor Vaizey and seconded by Councillor Bojan that the minutes be adopted by council, and those confidential minutes of the closed sessions of council remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Council, that would be your minutes from the special council meeting September the 25th, 2023, as well as the regular council meeting minutes of September 27th, 2023. Are there any questions on that? Councilor Willett?
Just going to the minutes there, the regular minutes of the 27th, we talked about the ice rink and you just happened to mention about the questions. We talked just a little bit at the end of that meeting about having maybe a whiteboard affair where we got an idea of what's going on with the town in the next few years, to give us an idea what we're even talking about money and contributions here for this type of thing. So when you mentioned about the questions, it's hard to give a bunch of questions until we get some kind of an idea of what the heck's going to go on here in the next 2 to 3 years. And we were going to do that exercise.
I'm going to, before I defer to Mr. Sabansky, I think everybody seems to have had questions that have come out of the presentation by the optimist, which was a good presentation. So I think we're going to deal with those first, Councilor Willett, and then we're going to go to that other exercise.
Okay, fair enough.
Mr. Sabansky.
Thank you. So staff are in the process of contacting a local consultant who's doing a strategic plan scoping exercise. So it wouldn't be a full strategic plan, it would simply be a scoping exercise. Our strategic plan will come out of date starting this year. So a scoping exercise is needed just to extend the strategic plan 3 to 5 year mark, which is required for numerous grants that we apply for. We're hoping to have that carried out in November. Accordingly, within regards to the financing of the potential rink project as proposed, staff will be reviewing the financing of that project along with a number of other projects that council is aware of or will be made aware of shortly, and how that will affect our future financing. So there will be some information provided in the staff report in regards to the ice rink. It may be not have significant details, and some of that information has not been made public yet, but we'll try to provide a financial idea of where potentially we could be sitting in a few years and how the ice rink would incorporate into those suggestions so you can judge whether or not we have sufficient finances to carry the project forward in a comfortable manner.
Call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Here, let's go to item 6.3, deputy. Councilors report.
Okay, find out if anybody's been doing anything this past week and a half or so. We'll start with Mr. Lovett.
Yeah,
Oops.
I don't have anything to.
Well, you do. You can tell us now that you can go straight through on Lake Shore Road.
Okay, we'll add that, and then we'll just add that this is Fire Prevention Month, October, and from the 9th to the 14th is Fire Prevention Week. So talking to the mayor about that particular item, he reminded me to maybe mention it here at the council tonight, so just everybody be reminded of that. So fire safety, very important. So other than that, we have upcoming fire budget meeting coming up and a regular fire meeting coming up. So that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Van Clever.
Yes, it's Deputy Mayor. We had 3 drainage meetings in the last week and a half. We met with some landowners involved with Canton Drain here in council chambers. And then we had a discussion with landowners involved in a new requested drain, the Ray Drain. This was on site on Maple Street in Mill Village. And then the reoccurring Whiting Drain, we had another small meeting regarding that recently as well. So that's my report this evening.
Well, I wondered if you'd been doing anything on drainage.
Thought I
because-
better do something.
Because there was nothing on your timesheet about drainage. So I thought, oh, John's been sloughing off. It's okay. Mr.
Thank you, Deputy. Special events met last week. They're still working with the community groups for the Christmas in the Village event. But other than that, just a reminder that there is trivia night in Kamlaki on Saturday of this week that they're putting on with the Optimists. And it's $5 at the door, and that's this Saturday. The Environmental Services Committee also met last week, I believe. The only thing to really bring attention to there was that the replacement of those failing copper water lines came back to the committee. So the committee endorsed it or approved it to be replaced on property. And then we expect to get a draft budget next one at the environmental services level. So a little bit more after that happens. That's everything for me.
I think Mr. Sabansky's wanting to say something.
If I could add to Councillor Bojan's comments, we actually just sent out yesterday evening notices to the public, to the property owners in Muskoka Trail. We're hoping to start construction on the first half of the services next week. We're planning to meet tomorrow evening with the property owners. So they on site, so that way they can point out any concerns they have with the construction site. And we can hear all their concerns, so we're prepared to move forward in the coming week.
And that trivia night, that has a Halloween theme to it, I understand.
Saturday ones is a Halloween theme trivia.
You can't get in unless you're costumed, or you.
Costumes are encouraged.
Not necessary.
Required. It's more fun if you do though.
Yeah, it is. Okay, thank you. Crazy.
Yes,
What was that?
nothing. Nothing official had gone on since last meeting, since our Parks and Rec. We did have a wind-up meeting with the Misfit Elves in their motorcycle poker run. And we had over 80 bikes show up again. The weather was perfect. And they donated about just over $3,100 to Christmas for Everyone. So it was
Here,
very well attended.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Nothing.
Nothing. You can go through Lake Shore Road too now.
Yes, I can.
There you go.
All the way through.
Honked all the way through.
I had to wake up Bob.
Mr.
You did a
Mayor,
good job.
Thank you, Deputy. I attended the environmental meeting. And last week I was at the emergency management basic course over in Glencoe for a couple of days and was successful in passing that. Library Week is coming up October 16th to the 20th, and county councilors are going to have offered their services to read at the library. I'll be doing one live here at the Wyoming branch on the 20th from 10 to 10:30, reading to the children. And I've already told what 2 books I have to read and look at colors and things like that. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, that's it.
Council's invited to that
The
reading.
council is invited to come and watch if they want.
Thank you, yeah.
What about you, Deputy?
What have I done? I attended a county council meeting that you were unable to attend, and there was quite a greeting thank you very much. There were many people out with flags greeting me.
But place cards too, I'm sure.
Yes, so, yeah, it was, people wanting the union striking. Okay, but I waved, they were very peaceful and friendly too, yeah. It was, so, then I went to a museum meeting, board of directors meeting this morning, and, they're getting, excited about their 10 years, they'll be in operation next year, so they're renovating their displays and stuff, so they, don't be surprised to see some, a request for some funding, maybe of some kind for them, because they need some materials for new displays, so. And, yeah, that's about it. Do I ask any of staff if they've been doing anything? Oh, no.
We'll just leave it with the counselor.
Okay.
Good, thank you, Deputy. Okay, Council, I'm going back to 6.2, committee meeting minutes. I have a motion by Councilor Wolvette, seconded by Councilor Van Claveren, that the minutes be adopted by council, and those confidential minutes of the closed sessions remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy. That would be your Parks and Recreation Committee meeting, the 24th, 2023, as well as the Special Events Committee meetings of the 5th of September. Any questions for them? We have both chair people here. Just a comment for me, I have good numbers at our pool, over 900 participants. That's pretty positive. And I know there'll be several residents who are going to be quite happy with the portable washroom along the walkie trail. Well received. Anything else? Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council, we're gonna go to 7.1. Motion by Councilor Bojan, seconded by Councilor Vacy, that council remuneration claims for September 2023 be approved for payment. Any questions on those? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council, we're gonna go to item 8.1 under staff reports. Outdoor movie projector rentals to the public. Motion by Councilor Vacy, seconded by Councilor Bojan, that the report by Adam Sabansky, Chief Administrative Officer, and Aaron Kowalchuk, Clerk, dated October the 4th, 2023, regarding outdoor movie projector rentals to the public be received, and that staff be directed to draft a user agreement / policy allowing local nonprofit service clubs to be trained and permitted to use the movie projector for their own events at no cost. I know this had came up with the previous administration. We talked about at that time, but I don't believe anything had been done either, so. Mr. Szymanski?
So yes, very early in the year, council received a request by the local high school students to rent out equipment. We realized at the time we didn't have the ability to rent it out, so the direction at the time was to talk to the local service clubs to see if they'd be interested in being trained, and then they could utilize it to rent it out. During that time, we found out that a local business was actually opening that was providing that service. And we decided that staff felt that it may not be appropriate to compete against a local business. So we switched gears and decided to bring back this report to council to recommend that we develop a user agreement to allow the service clubs to rent the projector equipment at no cost to utilize at their fair charity events and other community events.
Thank you. To my right, Councillor Bojan.
Thank you, Richard. I just have two questions. I guess the first one is the idea to make it local as in Plympton-Wyoming? Or local as in, like, so if the school came to us, they weren't necessarily Plympton-Wyoming, so are we focusing on Plympton-Wyoming?
The initial review only consulted with the service club, the local service clubs. So we did not expand out to asking the local schools if they'd be interested. So I have no background information whether they would be interested in that out. Schools are also a little bit bigger organization too, so there could be some challenges with having appropriate staff man it and set it up and everything and maintain it. That is something that we could definitely look at if council wished us to do so. But this time we're only looking at local not-for-profit service clubs. If the schools are interested, we could consider adding them in the future though.
I have no issues which way we go. I just wanted to make sure we're clear in terms of what the policy says. And then the only other two things I have is because I know the special events committee helped require the equipment if we can do a damage deposit. And the events committee has first right of refusal for any potential conflicting dates for use of the new equipment. Those are just my two pieces.
I don't have any objection to that per se. I think we purchased that equipment with a grant prior to the special events committee though.
I'm referring to like the new AV stuff that was purchased for the movie. There
That
was
absolutely makes sense, and I think that remembering that is now the AV equipment to go along with it, that would make sense that there's a damage deposit. Because we did invest and we want to make sure that that investment is covered. I would suggest there would be a damage deposit no matter.
Those are the only two things I have.
Our treasurer, Ms. Veronica Priest.
So, can you add to this list that you have there for, people that could use it during this? Like you only have the Legion, the Lions and the Optimists? Like you don't have the Egg Society or?
Those are just examples. I would suggest that the Egg Society, 4-H and clubs of that nature would fall under a local not-for-profit service club. So the policy won't include a specific list of specific organizations. It would just include set priorities, what those organizations have to meet.
Councillor Bojan, your questions answered.
Yep, that was the one thing. Thank you.
Councillor Vaizey,
No questions, thanks.
Councillor Rodriguez,
No question.
Deputy, Councillor Van Cleven,
Nothing for me, sir.
Councillor Wolbeck.
No, good to me.
Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, we'll take you to item 8.2. The report, moved by Councillor Rodriguez, seconded by Councillor Vaizey, that the report by Adam Sabansky, Chief Administrative Officer, and Ella Flynn, Executive Assistant Corporate Services, dated October the 5th, 2023. Regarding the 2023 Ontario Trillium Foundation Resilient Communities Fund grant we received, and that council directs staff to submit an application for transitioning town website from iCreate to GovStack. Okay, so I'm going to start to my left. Are there any questions? Councilor Wolbeck?
Would the ice rink be eligible for any part of this grant?
Ms. Flynn?
So this grant deals specifically with soft services, basically. So any like training or program development, anything that would increase cybersecurity. The Ontario Trillium Foundation does have a capital grant that we could maybe look at down the road. That's more for hard services. This one deals exclusively with just soft services. So of all upcoming projects, this was the only one we thought really fit. Basically, no matter what, we're going to have to transition the website. iCreate is being transitioned out. We haven't been given an exact date as of yet. But our options are either stick with the platform GDH or GHD, sorry. Either stick with that provider and just move to their alternate platform, or we're gonna have to tender out and find a complete new website provider.
That's been clever.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I can see, it's quite a cost to make that change, which I think I can accept. It seems that maybe the manner in which we're being asked to make that change, if we don't make the change, yeah, we either tender out to other providers, of whom I'm not sure how many there are that kind of play in this arena. But so they're shutting down the existing one, and then if we want to stay on, it would be an extra 25,000. Or will be unserved. And then if we sit on the fence and we kind of wait, and the discount will be pulled, but I'm not sure what the discount is. Like it says 25%, but it's 25% of kind of a random quote. So it feels like a bit of leverage is being used there in the town, it seems. And of course, we don't have that discount and we don't move forward, so we can't really lose it. I just wondered if there was, do we know when they're planning to shut down our site we're on now?
Thank you. I'm going to defer to our clerk on that one, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. So to answer a few of your questions, I think what's happening is two different things are happening here. And we're kind of combining them, hoping to get the grant. So I think iCreate will be phased out in the next few years. They haven't given us a date. But the problem with it is it's not accessible. And for them to make any, when we have like our website goes down, it's a lot of work to get it back up and running. They're putting a lot of their work into getting to the new platform, which is more accessible, easier to use, includes support, like it's up there. I think they're offering this 25% off to municipalities so that when we did the demo, they showed us other municipalities that have already transitioned, and you can see how it works. They need so many in their portfolio to do that. So it's kind of like it benefits us both. So I think that's where the 25% discount comes in. Like you said, the grant is coming up. We're gonna save that 25%. So it works all at the same time. We don't have to switch to this now. Our website works well, but it would work a lot better and bring us a lot more to compliance. One thing that I sent out in an email, I'm not sure if council members had a chance to read it. From 2016, 2017, when we built the site to 2021, we had to pay $9,000 in 2021 to remediate our website to go back to be accessible. So we're already how many years in from 2021? I think we're going to be at that remediation point again, and we're going to have to pay that out. Now, we did get grant funds for that last time. So the same thing's going to happen again. So I've made clear with them in this update, is that bringing us up to everything? So that's one more cost that we're not going to anticipate in the next year or so. So that's one more benefit of it that wasn't included in the staff report. So it's two things happening at once. We are being warned we're going to have to change. We can have a discount if we do it benefits them. And then the grant came up and we can do it all now.
Okay, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. Mayor.
Thank you. Deputy.
Yes, I'm glad you cleared everything up for me. I don't have any more questions.
Thank you. Councilor Rodriguez.
No, thank you. I'm usually last. No. I did ask for additional information on this. I don't know what even. When did that go on?
3 o'clock-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to gather all the information.
Well, I just wanted to be able to do that fee comparison to understand, what the differences are in the costs here. And obviously this iCreate is changing to a new platform, which will be very similar to this new proposed platform. From what I'm hearing from you.
It is the same platform.
Okay.
Yeah, I create to GovStack is the new one.
Oh,
That's
okay,
where we would be
gotcha.
going to. Yeah.
Gotcha, okay. And that it says in the report, if I read it correctly, that the 25% discount's already expired, so that's not actually guaranteed, is that correct?
I don't think it's expired. I think the quote was good till September 28th or so, but we've been speaking with the representative that gave us that quote and it still applies.
It will still.
Oh,
apply.
for sure. Yeah.
And so were you paying this $5,900 yearly? Is that what you're currently paying?
Yes.
And
Yep.
so that's fee stays the same?
So it goes up a bit for the new
Mhm.
platform of the same in the email.
No, I just-
So, yeah. I don't, so if it was 59, I think it's 75, it will go up to,
Okay,
sorry,
53 to 75.
53 to 75, yes. So for the first year, if we did this 2024 and we got grant for it, so the migration and the first year hopefully would be covered. We'd have to apply to the grant and see what they would give. And then in 2025, that new increased rate would apply. However, that increased rate includes support. Whereas right now we pay per use for support.
right.
So it's hard to compare apples to apples because the package they're offering now, it's not the package.
And I'm
we
not
have
trying
now.
to
Yeah.
compare apples to apples. I understand there's
Yeah.
differences here. I'm just trying to see what the increase is going to this service and kind of bang you're getting for your buck.
Yeah.
With that increase. It's hard to know when you don't, I can't see the numbers.
For
of
sure.
what you would do.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for the public. to know
Yeah.
As well.
For sure.
So I think that's pretty much all my questions, although it does say, and also Facebook was it as well.
Facebook is not connected at all.
Excuse me.
We don't use them for anything for Facebook. That's all stuff.
Okay,
done
so
here.
that's why
That's
they
not
included
included at
it.
all.
That's why they, excuse me. That's why they stated it was additional fee.
Yeah, we don't use them at all.
Because
Yeah,
it's an option.
correct. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilor Basie?
Yes, your worship, looking at the quote and we're trying to get a grant to pay for it. Can we take that 25% discount and roll that into the next year's premium or 3 years premium? You know what I'm saying? Refuse the 25% discount, take it as we'll take the whole thing, but it's paid for the next 5 years or 4 years. Go through the grant that way. We get more free money.
Szymanski?
So just a reminder to council tonight, we're only asking for approval to apply for a grant.
And apply more.
The quote is just what we're applying for essentially. Before we switch over to the news website, because it is over $25,000, we will likely have to bring another staff report back informing you of the final quote before and the new agreement associated with it. So tonight, we're just applying for a grant to cover that cost. We can always apply for the additional grant without the 25%, just in case between when we apply for the grant and when the grant becomes made aware, final, we lose that 25%, we are still covered by the grant program.
That's where I'm going. Thank you. That's all I have, your worship.
Councilor Bojan?
Nothing further from me. Thank you.
All right. Call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. All right, council, let's go to item 9.1. I have a motion by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councilor Wolvett. That bylaw 110 of 2023. Being a bylaw to appoint a fire chief be taken as having been read 3 times, finally passed, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. Any questions? All those in favor? Congratulations and welcome, Eric Campbell.
Would you like to introduce council?
Be a leak in here. Chief Campbell, it's good to have you with us. I think you've met most of our council, but just to give you the courtesy, we're going to ask council to introduce themselves to you. I'm going to begin, of course, with Councillor Wilbett, who you've met and is the chair of the Fire Executive Committee.
Mr. Mayor, welcome, Eric. We did have an opportunity to tour the community last Monday, and I welcome you here. Look forward to our first fire board meeting, which is coming up next week. And the fire board members are here tonight, and they'll mention that in their introduction. So once again, welcome.
Thank you, Counselor.
Hi, Eric. I'm John Van Claveren. And a hearty welcome to you and to Stacy. We're so glad you're here. It's been a bit of a process for us as well as you guys. So we're really anxious to see you get to get working on these projects ahead of you, and we're looking for exciting things.
Thank you, Counselor.
Hello, Eric and Stacy, both of you, welcome to our municipality. We're very pleased to have you here. And what else can I say? If we didn't want you here, you probably wouldn't be here. Right?
That's a very good point, Deputy Mayor.
That's all.
Councillor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Your Worship. My name is Kristen Rodriguez. Welcome to you, Eric and Stacy. I hope you've been able to find accommodations.
We have, and we've been very fortunate in that regard, so.
Oh, good. Yeah, there's a lot of listings now, so.
Yes, we have a house to get rid of too, so it's a combination of the two.
I also sit on the Fire Executive Committee, so I look forward to working with you next Monday.
Thank you. Good to meet you in person finally, Counselor.
Yes, thank you.
Councillor Basie.
Mike Basie, welcome. We are so happy to have you here. We hope you're here for a long time. A long time.
I hope the same, Counselor.
So Bojan.
Chief, welcome. Good to see you again. Yeah, enjoyed working with you. Welcome. Really excited and see you sweat it out on Saturday.
That's right.
All right. Now, so let's go to item 9.2. Motion by Councillor Rodriguez, seconded by Councillor Basie, that bylaw 111/2023 being a bylaw to appoint a CEMC and an alternate CEMC be taken as having been read 3 times and finally passed, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. Council, you've had a chance to read that. Any questions? Councilor Wavett?
Understanding is the position for the CMC there for the 2 municipalities has closed. Have we interviewed anybody or hired anybody?
I believe I'll defer that to our CAO who was involved in that process.
Thank you, Your Worships. So the CAO of Warwick and myself did interview candidates on Friday. We have together selected a primary candidate and we're starting a big negotiation process, and we hope to provide council with an update next meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Nothing from me, sir.
All right, any questions? Okay, all those in favor? Carried. I'd like to thank Chief Irons from Troya, Enniskillen, as well as Jay Van Klinken, who assisted us in the recent months for stepping in to be our primary on several occasions. So we thank them for that. And of course, our drainage superintendent, Elizabeth Cummings, who's for her assistance there as well. Okay, council, we're going to go to item 10, correspondence. Clerk, anything new under that one?
Nothing new under action required, Your Worship.
Okay, so let's go to item 11.1, correspondence, recommended reading and routine approval and information items. Moved by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councillor Van Claveren. that correspondence items A to Q. That's items A to Q relating to recommended reading and routine approval and information items not otherwise addressed by resolution be noted as received by the Plympton-Wyoming Council and filed accordingly. I'm going to begin with my right. Councillor Bojan, anything for you?
Don't believe I had anything for this one, your worship.
Okay, Councillor Daisy?
Yes, your worship, N, the resolution from Midland. It's about the catch and release of the criminals. I know we backed this in the past and wouldn't hurt to keep it going.
Okay, so you'd like to pull that out, would you,
Yes,
Council?
please.
Okay.
That's all I have.
That's all you have, okay, Councillor Rodriguez?
I also had N,
Okay.
so. And that's both.
All right,
Thank you.
Deputy?
Yeah, we would be applying for anything for the Wyoming Community Foundation grants.
Clerk, I'll defer to you, but I think we are still getting some funding, are we not, for the wellness center?
I did, through your worship, email Carolyn DeShutter to confirm where we were at in that last week, and I haven't heard from her yet, so I'm not sure if she's away or, so I was looking for an update on that to see whether we were eligible
I think we're getting our last payment now, aren't we, this year for this fall?
for 2023. I don't know, she hasn't responded.
Center.
I will keep.
And when we're getting something, then we can't apply for anything new right now.
Project
Not
has to,
even for next year?
no, the project has to be completed, I believe, and you have to show that the project is completed
Okay.
before you can apply again.
Yes.
Anything else, Deputy?
No,
Councillor Van Claveren?
Nothing for me, sir.
Councillor Wolvett?
I would look at H. I believe this is a communication item. Certainly for the residents of Plympton-Wyoming, since it's now online building permits and online bylaw reports through the county. Too bad we hadn't had this out before we put out our fall newsletter, but for our residents to know this is how they can apply for a building permit or a bylaw infraction. So I think that's should be communicated.
Certainly a step in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very positive. Did you want to just recognize that, or did you?
Well, I'd like to have it in the minutes and the people online can hear because, you know, people probably don't even know this is being done at the county level. It's, to me, should have been communicated a little better at this level. So that we could have talked about it a little better, even had a say in the matter. I think it's a great improvement, but since it does affect us directly, somehow the word needs to get out. This is what you can do now.
I know, sorry, Deputy Clerk.
I was just gonna advise council, it was posted on the town's Facebook page a couple weeks ago. But we can maybe look at other ways to get the word out about that.
I'm sure, I believe you've mentioned in the past that when people are calling, you're letting them know that it is on the line portal that you can do that. So that's good too.
That's all I have, sir.
So Councillor Vacy, going back to you, you wanted N pulled, you know, resolution, clerk?
I just, if you could give me a second, your worship, to look if we've already supported it.
Okay.
If not, it's gonna, no, when we send it, they won't acknowledge it. So I just want to check and see if it's the same. If you just could give me 1
Sure,
second.
Councillor Vacy, you okay with that?
That's fine, even if we do it the next one, that's. I just don't want it to die, because it was right
Yeah.
after one of the policemen got killed. And so big outcry, and then it just petered off.
Did support that.
Yeah, I say we supported somebody. If it was Midland or not, but we'll support everybody.
He's looking this up. Can I just go on to new business just for a minute? It's short, very short. Are we gonna have heat fixed in this place for the next meeting?
This may be one of our quickest meetings ever, so.
Yeah,
Wow.
leave it off.
No, it's okay.
You want a hot water bottle?
Bring my wheat bag next time.
Your worship, I found it, we did support correspondence. It came directly to us from Lambton Group Police Services Board, and we did support that and forward that on to the Premier, the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, MPP Monty McNaughton, MPP Bailey, and the Warden of Lambton County. So if you feel that that is sufficient, we can acknowledge it and draw attention to it in the minutes, but it may be doing the same.
Whatever you
Not
think.
allowed to.
You can, but I'm not sure they would. They might say, oh, this has already been supported. We try to not bring double, so my apologies for that, I just don't know what they would do with it at their end.
I know locally, it's even a problem. It's just a problem everywhere.
For sure. If it was something we had different
Yeah,
to say, for
yeah.
sure, but I feel like if it's the same regarding repeat offenders, it's up to you if you wanna. Support it.
Those that hold it, it's your call. What would you like to do, Councillor Davis?
As long as we're still supporting it and
Yep.
showing that we haven't forgotten about it, that's basically all I'm looking for.
Councillor Rodriguez?
Well, sometimes I feel the more you send something, maybe it might catch, stick. I don't think it hurts.
So you'd like to leave it? All
I'd like it to.
right.
I don't want it to be a waste of time.
Yeah. I just have to look over your shoulder, sorry.
Yep.
Long sleeves, cheapest. They make me cold. Just look at that. Yeah, there's no heat on here.
Pretty hot. Watches are tight.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's been turned on.
Oh. Thursday.
Do we have a seconder for this room?
I would, who moved it, Councillor Rodriguez?
Yeah, but Councillor Basie also brought it up, so.
Okay. Councillor Vacy, did you want to second that? Sure.
Yes. We've already signed it.
We
Yeah, no, finished, sorry.
Your worship, I just wanted to draw attention to the registration. Early bird registration ends on October 27th. So if you're attending Roma, next year, it would be advantageous to do so before October 27th.
But Deputy Clerk Flynn, no.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I have a motion by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councillor Van Claveren, that correspondence A to Q relating to recommended reading and routine approval, information items not otherwise addressed by resolution, be noted as received by the Plympton-Wyoming Council and filed accordingly, save and accept for item N. N as in Norman. All those in favor? Carried. And I have a motion by Councillor Rodriguez, seconded by Councillor Vacy, that council support item N of correspondence from Midland regarding the catch and release justice in Ontario. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, item 12, new business. Deputy Mayor.
Just what I had mentioned a few minutes ago, maybe some heat in here.
That'll be noted.
Thank you.
We came back after Thanksgiving weekend to find no heat on. Our contractor was brought in yesterday morning to look at it. Upon inspection, they determined there was a damaged part. That damaged part is expected to arrive Thursday or Friday morning. And the repairs will occur shortly thereafter.
And the repairs will happen before the end of the week too. Anyway,
All right, thank
Well,
you.
it's okay. I'll just dress accordingly if you let me know it's not gonna be on the next meeting, okay? Thank you.
Councilor Van Claveren,
Nothing from me, sir.
Councilor Wolvette.
The only thing that I have is brought to my attention that over the past 2 or 3 years, there was requests made to make some upgrades to Point View Park. So I'll direct it to the chair of the Parks Board. And letters were issued, went to the Parks Board. So I would ask, the individual would ask that they take another look at that. Upgrades, I think there was gates and equipment antique and stuff like that. So he asked that I bring it up here again, because it's been requested and seems to be bypassed each time, so. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you.
Respond to that?
Yes, if you'd like to.
We will be looking at it, was pushed off to the budget for. Because his budget was already in for this year, so. It is on our reminder list to look at.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the street sign at Cullen and Lakeshore Road has been knocked off a few times now due to vehicular accidents in that vicinity with some hydro poles. It did take a while to get it up back up this last time, but it is appearing to fall back over. So maybe they can, it's on a lean-to. So maybe they can take a look at that.
Put it on the spring.
Yeah, I think you should just put it on a spring. Every time someone hits it, it can point back at them. Also, Lakeshore Road is open. Yes, very happy about that. There was also a lot of unhappy people to see a lot of dump trucks going on to a newly paved Thomas Drive and on Blue Point Drive, which is not built to handle such heavy traffic. I did speak to Mr. Sabansky about it, but I don't know what the outcome was on that.
So it's my understanding that the heavy trucks did relocate to Cullen Drive versus the older section of the Blue Point area before they went out to Lakeshore Road. So there shouldn't be any further heavy trucks heading down that section of Blue Point at this time.
And speaking of the Thomas Road and the cul-de-sac on at the end of Blue Point and Sunset,
Yes.
they're very happy with the residents there, especially in the cul-de-sac because it really was in good shape. So they're very happy to have it all fixed up. The other thing was committee positions. I had an inquiry from a resident of Plympton-Wyoming who was starting to gain interest in being involved, and I don't know how that works. Like, are the volunteer positions done for 4 years? I do know there was trouble with special events getting more help. So I just don't know how that works. If somebody's interested, what can they do? I did send an email, but I didn't get a response. I think because I sent it to Danny.
That would probably be one reason why.
No, it was a couple weeks ago.
So this individual wants to sit on a committee.
Mhm.
Do they have any specific?
No, they didn't. Well, they said they might have a few interests, but they were just in general wanted to know.
I'll let you answer that. I was. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. In general, it is with the term of council, so they're set. Their committees have terms of reference for how many members. I think we are awaiting direction from Special Events Committee, whether I think they're still within their allowed members on the terms of reference. I'm not sure if they're going to be replacing those members that left or not. I haven't been given that direction, but if any positions do come up, it is posted on our website. When we did the full refresh of committees, it was posted in the newspaper as well, so they can keep an eye on our website there's a volunteering section. And I don't know of any vacancies at this time.
Okay. So if they wanted to just submit to you, could you keep it on? file or something, so if something did come up, they could be.
Most likely could. I'd want to check with
Okay.
HR. There's usually something within it being only a certain amount of months so you can keep it for.
Oh, okay,
Once you put that call out, I'm not sure, but I can look into it to see.
sure.
Noting their interest, yeah.
If I don't know if they're interested, but museum is always interested in people, volunteers working in there. And like the Plympton-Wyoming Historical Society is too. So and they're the ones that take care of the museum.
And was the events committee?
I'm not sure if they've determined whether they're filling their.
I don't believe that, Councilor, that hasn't been discussed yet, has it?
No, the status of committee members has, like, 'cause we're not too low right now, so no decision's been made.
Yeah, they're within.
So that was museum and historical?
Yeah, Historical Society, yes.
Come back to you, Bob, okay? So,
Yes, thank you.
Councilor Vacy?
Yes, your worship. I was asked about the fall planting at the park where we did the. Drawing a blank of what the park's called. Wilstra. That was it. That they were gonna do some fall plantings there. We got an update on that?
Mr. Spansky?
Through the chair, if I may. Yes, so we've been in contact with Climate Action Center in New Hampton. And the main purveyor of that service. And I had a discussion and given the lateness, given his time demands and the time demands of his group. He thought it would be best to delay any of the planting to the spring. So we're currently preparing to do additional plantings in the spring.
Thank you. There was one of the neighbors was asking. Just a reminder that the Misfit Elves, along with the Legion and the Fair Board, are putting on the dueling pianos for Christmas for Everyone, November 18th. Tickets are going briskly, so if you're wanting any, let me know. And that is, doors will open at 6:30 on the 18th at the fairground.
It's too bad that it's back to back with Kim Lucky doing pianos.
Everything was booked when we found out.
Oh, yeah.
The optimists were too. So.
Mhm. Wow, it's wonderful.
Anything else, Councilor
That's
Vacy?
all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Bojan?
Thank you, your worship. The only thing I just want to remind the events committee events coming up again, just so it's there. Trivia is this Saturday in Kamlaki, November 11th in Wyoming, and Christmas in the Village, December 9th.
And Santa's confirmed for Christmas. as well.
Santa is confirmed. He will be there at Christmas in the Village.
Good.
I don't think the contract's been signed yet.
I really have nothing except to thank one of our staff, our health department, Braden, for the job he did clearing that lot between the apartment building on Broadway and Village Fireplace. He did a great job on it. It looks very good. So Mr. Sabansky, through you to the works department, thank you Braden, for that job that he did. Looks good. Anything new business from staff? Ms. Flynn? Treasurer Roddy Priest? Clerk? Fire Chief?
No, your worship.
CEO?
Not today, thank you.
All right, so that ends the regular business. I have a motion by Councillor Vacy, seconded by Councillor Bojan, that council move into an in-camera meeting of council pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following reasons. Item A, proposed land acquisition matter, section 239 bracket 2 bracket C, a proposed or pending acquisition, disposition of land by the municipality or local board. All those in favor? Carried. For those of you that have joined with us virtually, we thank you very much for being with us this evening. And we'll be coming back out and closing down in the next 15-20 minutes. So